Welcome to Setios Reviews. We have another Coredi device in here, which is a range extender, Wi-Fi range extender. Don't know if it's a dual band or not, but looks like air-cooled box. Look at this. I don't know what's the point of that, but what the hell? Want some current key? Okay. That must be the device itself. Or is it? How do I get it out? Yep, that is the device itself. I really like the color that the Coredi uses. It's like this purplish bluish. I don't know what it's exactly called. But you can see the lights on it, which is LAN, WAN, WPS, WLAN, WLAN, sorry, and power. Well, it's small, as you can see. I will show you how to set this up. You also have the Ethernet ports in here if you want. But the way these things work, I'll just explain it shortly. So, for example, if we have a USB adapter, right? I don't have a router, but let's say that this represents your router. It's in here. This is where the internet comes from. This is your PC in here. So the internet goes from that router into the PC over the wireless, right? Because it's a wireless range extender. So let's say that there is so much interference or distance between your PC and the router that the signal is just bad on this end. So what you do, you place this somewhere in the middle, you connect it up, you connect this into your router, and then internet goes from here to here and here, which extends the range of this router. You get the idea? So if you have like a big house or big distance or something, then these are useful, and I'll show you how to set this up. Well, I'm connected up and it's working. So the first step to do is to plug it into the wall socket. But very important thing, do not plug it into a surge protected socket, because most likely it's not going to work. I had this issue and it simply didn't connect properly into the network and it didn't connect into the internet. So, well, anyway. So connect it into a non-surge protected socket and then just wait for it, and it should pop up a name in your wireless settings called Coredi WN300. You just connect to it, it has no password. Then once you're connected, over the wireless you can connect with smartphone or anything. Then you go into your browser, whatever browser you're using, and you type in this IP address. This is the default gateway. And you just press enter. Then you end up on this page, and then we log in with admin, both are admin. That's the default username and password. I have not changed them. And this is the interface. It has no drivers because obviously it doesn't connect to your PC in any way except wireless. And well, this should explain itself for the stuff in here. I'm not sure why the repeater and AP is access point, that's for sure. Wireless internet service provider, not sure what that is. But the first thing I'm gonna show you is the repeater. That's the extender mode. It repeats one of the stations, so you click on here. It does a quick scan of the network areas. The signal is rather bad, I have to say. It only detects 2 networks, even though even on my phone I can see more than that. So the signal is not so good, I have to mention, but well. Anyway, you select your station, which one is yours. You select it. You can't change this name in here because this is where you connect to. This is the station you're going to extend, and this is the network name, SSID of your network you want to extend. You can just copy the same name, or you can just change it to whatever you want. This is the default name. So, and the key, this has to match the exact key of this network you're connecting to. So if you connect to your own network, the key has to match. So. And once you type that in, you can click save and reboot. And it's gonna take a second. This key has to match your wireless key. So just give it a second, it shows you the settings and stuff. And
it should, this bar actually has nothing to do with the actual router, it's just the approximate time. So just give it time and wait until it reconnects to the network. And then you're done setting up the extender. So we can also set it on router mode or access point mode. I'm not entirely sure what these are, but I'm gonna check it out and tell you more about them. Alright, so in this mode, this is the router mode. I'll just go back to the home page and go back in here. The router mode, you can't use it actually as your own router, you still need the original one. For example, if your original one like doesn't have a Wi-Fi or you just want to extend it or something, you need to connect it up through the WAN cable. It's same as the Ethernet cable, LAN cable, Ethernet cable. WAN is just a different port, it shares the connection or something like this. I can't really explain, but it's for sharing the internet. So connect this to your own modem through that WAN port. And then based on what kind of system you use, usually most of the connections use the PPPoE, which uses your username and password. This is shown in your router, or you can obtain it from your internet service provider. You type this in, you set up your wireless, this is your wireless, whatever you want, and then again save and reboot, and you're done with it. I can't really demonstrate it in here at the moment because I'm also on wireless. So, and then let's move on to the access point mode. Right, the access point mode, it's pretty much the same as the repeater mode, only that this works while your adapter is connected again to your original modem or router. So you connect it up through the WAN port, and then you just save and reboot, and it should automatically connect to your router's wireless. So basically it's same as the repeater mode. Alright, well, I'm not entirely sure what wireless internet service provider mode is. It's pretty much same as the repeater, because if you go in here, it does the same kind of scan. And once again, you can select the network, and it's the same process. So I'm not entirely sure, and there's not much about it in the options either. So basic wireless settings, you can change your key right here if you want, but this is gonna change also the other key, so it's not going to connect into your internet. And what we have in here is LAN settings and WAN basic settings. Check this out. That's again depending on what kind of internet you're using, so I can't really give you any advice on this. This is what's set up in your own router, so you can change all that settings. And LAN settings, I believe that's the same option. No, it's not, so you have to click on the exact moment. I believe that's the default gateway. You can change that. I don't know why it says IP address, but that's called default gateway, I believe. You should not touch these if you don't know what you're doing. So it's in case if you have multiple devices, then you can change these things, but don't touch them. So, and finally in here you can change your password, the default password if you want. Time zone, that should explain itself. Backup and reset, that should also explain itself, and firmware update, that should also explain itself. I have not checked it, but you can probably download new firmware from their website and just upgrade it if you want. Actually, I'm going to check it out. I don't think this product has any firmware yet, because I didn't find any. And also to give you some information about the Ethernet ports, you can just plug a cable in there once it's set up like I showed you, like it's set up properly, not this thing in here. Once the repeater mode is set up the way it should be, or the router mode, or any mode, once you have the internet, then you can also plug your PC into that thing and get internet through these ports. So, and well, that's all there is. I'm not happy about the range, because the range is kinda crappy, to be honest. If I move away with this thing, then I don't know how much it will extend the range, but it definitely does extend, because it's like I explained before on the camera, that it sits between your PC or device and your router, so that's how it should go. And if you connect it through like a long LAN cable, then well, you have no problems with the signal, so it just extends it. But it could be better, it could have an antenna on it or something like this. But other than that, it's a nice gadget to have, and I will see ya next time.